Hi, in this devlog I'll show you my latest mod, Envelope. The mod adds mail and deliveries to Minecraft. Let's briefly go over its features. Firstly, the mail itself. We have letters and packages. Letter is similar to a book, but smaller, perfect when you just need to send a short message. It also has formatting support, like in my mod Scholar. Package is a 6-slot single-use container that can be used to deliver items. It is also a good way to reduce your inventory clutter. Letters and packages can be sealed with a seal stamp to ensure integrity and authorship. Sending the mail is pretty straightforward. You stick an address tag on it to set the recipient and insert it into a mailbox. The mailbox should also have some seats in it. As you might have guessed already, seats are for the pigeon. Mail isn't magically teleporting to the destination, it must be delivered. Pigeons will take the mail from the nearby mailbox, fly to the recipient, deliver the mail, and return home. One thing worth mentioning here, after delivery is started, no more chunks need to be loaded for it to progress. After delivery, pigeon will be tired for some time. You can help them rest with a pigeonhole. Another important feature is the payback system. It allows for the safe trade of items between players. You can set a request on the mail using a payback tag and send it to the recipient as usual. But instead of it being delivered to the destination, mail service holds it in its storage and sends the package for payment to the buyer. Buyer packs required items into provided payback package and sends it to the seller. Mail service intercepts the mail again, checks it, and if all is okay, sends payback to the seller and the sold mail to the buyer. This should cover main features of the mod. Now let's talk about the delivery system itself. It is not just teleporting mail to the recipient, but it's not fully simulated flight either. I'd say it's like a hybrid between the two approaches. As I've said earlier, delivery works even if the chunks are not loaded. Only the beginning needs to be loaded, when Pigeon picks up the mail from the mailbox. Here's how it works. Delivery route has 5 positions: sender, sender transition, mail hub, recipient transition, and recipient. It looks similar to a flight of an airplane: ascent to the cruise height, fly, then descend to the destination. In our case, Pigeon ascends to the sender transition point, travels to the hub, then travels to the recipient transition point, then descends to the recipient. A return back home follows the same logic but reversed. Ascents and descents are the only parts of a pigeon's flight that happen in the world. They use regular entity pathfinding to try to reach the target position of a phase. When the chunk with the pigeon unloads, delivery will continue in the background regardless of the phase. If the chunk becomes loaded again, pigeon will return to the world. Cruise level phases are always in the background, regardless of whether the area is loaded or not. The lore explanation for it is that pigeons ascend really high into the sky, where we cannot see them. Flight in the background doesn't quite work the same as real one. While in the background, pigeon moves much faster than a real entity. Pathfinding isn't available as well, positions are just interpolated, and some phases just use a timer to estimate their completion. This makes deliveries to distant addresses viable. Traveling realistically would take ages for them. Delivery duration still scales with distance, but it stops increasing after 5,000 blocks. You are probably wondering what a mail hub is and its purpose. Hubs are virtual locations at the cruise height. Some of the important decisions and checks are made there. For example, checking if the recipient exists, or handling the payback transaction. The lore explanation for it is that the pigeon only knows where the closest mail hub is. It knows it because it knows where it isn't. Pigeon flies to it and then the hub dispatches it further, as only mail service knows all addresses. I think this system strikes a good balance between immersion and convenience. I've started working on the mod about 9 months ago. Not all the time was spent on Envelope exclusively, of course, but most of it was. It turned out way longer than I thought it would be. It is surprising how hard it can be to design and implement what seems to be a simple idea. Constant redesigns, reworks, rewrites, and doubts. Several times I thought of scrapping it, but I really liked some of the features and ideas it had, and I poured so much time and effort into it that trying to finish it was basically the only option. But I think in the end I've managed to assemble it into something good, at least by my standards. One of the things I did differently from other mail mods is that I designed it with almost exclusively single player in mind. As a mod about mail fits in multiplayer basically by default, but single player requires more effort. Almost every feature in Envelope has a use outside of multiplayer. You can use deliveries to send items to your base when exploring, or just between bases. Letters and especially packages are useful even without sending them to anyone. Pigeons add more life to the world and produce bone meal in the pigeonhole. And in the next devlog, I'll show you where else you would be able to send your mail. This is all I wanted to talk about in this video, but you can try the mod yourself, as Envelope is already available on CourseForge and Modrin for NeoForge and Fabric. It only supports 1.21.1 at the moment, but it will be updated to newer Minecraft versions in the future. You can gain access to snapshots of upcoming updates by becoming a patron. Your support would allow me to continue working on mods. Have some questions or suggestions? My Discord server is a good place for them. There are many things still planned for the mod, so stay tuned for future updates and devlogs.